Namaste and welcome to Sattology Debunking Mythology. Sat means truth, logos means study or science, and opposite of that is mythology. Myth means is Sanskrit word meaning fake lie imagination. Mythology means a science or study of fake lie imagination. Mythology destroys your identity. Like if you misinterpret your shastra or your scriptures is a bad word, but shastra, and if you misinterpret them, and they will make you weak. And no Vedic Shastra makes you weak, it makes you stronger. So that was a British attempt to tell us that our Shastra are not real, and our Shastras tell us that we should be peaceful and tolerant in all situations. That was a British propaganda to us, to most of the natives of the world, so that nobody rises against them militarily, because they had a very small army. It's a small island, small army, and they could only fight by divide and rule, and they could only fight by making others feel inferior about themselves, so that they can tell them that they are a superior culture. And that's exactly they have done in all the ex-British colonies, and that's what Spaniards have done to natives in South America and Philippines. If you look at Philippines, they have only Spanish names. Can you imagine a country near Indonesia having Spanish names? That sounds ridiculous, right? Exactly, that is. Philippines was a very much a Hindu country. It was force converted by Spaniards into a Christian country. In fact, there was a law that if you do not convert, you'll be either killed or kicked out of Philippines. That was the law. So the ancient language Tagalog was replaced with Spanish, and they have Spanish names. I was shocked to see brown and Asian-looking people having Spanish names. It's very funny for me. And if you go to South America, the same has happened. The Spaniards have told the natives that you're very weak and you're very poor, but they took out all the gold from Aztecs. Same happened with India. India, the problem was India had a superior Shastra, Vedic Shastra, than anything Western world has ever produced. So they had to invent a new strategy to destroy it. They created mythology so that the Hindus lose trust in their Brahman or intelligent people or analysts, you can call them, or consultants, you can call them, or you can call them reformers, Brahmins, or all of these. So that they lose trust in them. The moment they lose trust in them, their warriors will become weak, because the warriors always need to have an ideology to fight on. And so Kshatriya will become weak. If Kshatriyas are weak and the teachers are weak, then automatically the businessmen will follow where the money goes. And the other people who want jobs, they will go wherever the money is. So that's how the destruction of Indian civilization happened. And we can see today where Hindus are being killed for misunderstanding their own scriptures. Now, today I have a very, very special guest. So there is a very Mahicha Sek Priya and Vitavasini. And so we are today going to have, let us welcome Dr. Anita Bose.
Namaste, namaste to all. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, it is a very good to remind people that first of all, we'll start with that Bengal is the origin in if you look at the Mahabharata, it's called Banga, Anga, Banga, and then Malaya. This is how it goes. Bengal was very big. Anga, Banga, Brahmadesh, and then Malaya. This is the sequence of lands mentioned there. It has always been the place of intellectuals. Kapila Muni did tapasya there, and there are many great ancient histories have happened there. In fact, it was very frequented by Arjun and Bhim for many different parts of the history of Mahabharata. So, what has happened? Why people have become weak, and why don't remember the Mahishasur Mardini part of Durga?
Uh, it's a really challenging question for me also, because you know that Bengal is known as the Shakti Peeth. And Bengalis are really, once upon a time, if you remember, the Chandraketugar and the people of the Gangaridai. Some people say this is Gangaridai or Gangaridi. So those were our ancestors. And they were really very brave and warrior people, to whom actually the story, it's not a story, the fact of the about the Gangaridai Jati, the nation, Gangaridai nation, was told about the historians of Alexander, because Alexander was frightened about those people, and that's why he did not attack Bengal. But the thing is, what you ask, that why it is now so weak, I think it's not so weak. I think there are so many misunderstanding and misinterpretation of our own culture, own heritage, own scripture. So maybe it's a wrong message going to the people, that because a state who is really they are worshipping the Shakti, the Mother Durga, and also the Mother Kali. The Kali is the most what can I say, that there's a very strong and woman power. But again, we saw that maybe for the misinterpretation, for the bhakti, understanding the bhakti movement, and maybe some misunderstanding for know our own history. There is so much gap of the, that the knowledge, and most annoying thing is nowadays there is a tendency to avoid the situation, and little bit selfishness also. So, so those all those things makes Bengal little bit different. They don't want to come in front. That's why. So maybe this is the reason.
Both Mahabharata and Ramayana were fought by the Bhakta.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I say that it's a misinterpretation. And what you say, that Britishers doing this thing, that the
no, but we cannot blame the British all the time, because it's that time has gone now. 70 years of post-independence.
Definitely, this is our fault.
It's our fault, and we have to accept it. And we can't blame the British and the white man. I don't believe in blaming anyone. We have to
that's the point. Don't blame anyone, because why we don't read our thing? Why we don't want to understand our own?
Reading our things and acting on it. Worship also means with weapons.
Yes, definitely.
You also worship with weapons. This is Dashera is Durga Puja. Durga Atta Shula Pranane Khadga Khetak Dharani. Gopan Dasya Nuje Jeshte Nand Gopa Kulod Bhave. Which is she's having weapons. Atta Shula Pranane, 8 sharp weapons she has. Khataga Khetak Dharani. And then Mahishasrik Priya Nityam Kaushiki Pitavasini.
Yes. So, and that's why she is known as the Rana Mardini.
Yeah.
So the terms Mahishashur Mardini, that is also the terms related with that she is killing. So that killing means a Shakti.
A civilization is known by its philosophy and how it defends itself. When a civilization loses, or people who proclaim to be pure Hindu syndrome guys, pure, like we're very pure Hindus, big bindi, big tilak, and big shikha, then it's just a drama. It's like a drama costume. We unless we act, guna karma defines who we are. Somebody may not be putting any tilak or any shikha or anything, but if the karma is as per Bhagavad Gita, yuddhecha palayanam, danam ishvara bhavascha, chatram karma sabhavadam. Unless they follow the teachings, you cannot accuse that Bhakti movement, or I'm not saying you, but generally you cannot say that Bhakti movement made it weak. Arjun was a Bhakta. Yudhishthira was a Bhakta.
It's not a Bhakti movement. I don't want to say that the Bhakti movement makes us weak, but I said that we forgot about the role of Arjuna.
Yeah. And even if you look at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, against Chand Kazi, he took out swords.
He was the first person.
So he took out swords, he took out mashal, and he walked like 100,000 men. They protested in front of Kazi. Kazi was forced. So we cannot blame them Bhakti, because many misunderstood. If you look at the other people, whenever somebody says you have to be peaceful in front of violence, that means he's teaching adharma. Because violence has to be met with violence, then only the violence stops. If good people do not have weapons, the bad people will destroy them. That's a basic logic, the American Second Amendment law, and which is a basic reason for that. So What do you have to say on that?
Yeah, you are 100% right, and we need to we have to comfort those things that if someone killing me, someone want to abuse me, or someone want to attack on me, I have to do the same for with him, because otherwise we cannot survive. And the same thing is happened now. So we are almost one corner. So the theory, what you say, that not working for the whole the civilization.
The ideally what we should do is talk about taking over the whole Bangladesh, giving back to the Hindus, because in 1707 and before that, even before 1947, the faith-based conquest has gone on. So Islam is also a colonial faith, just like Christianity. They have always conquered lands on the basis of faith, gold, glory, and God, and they have destroyed the natives, completely natives. So the natives of the land are those who are never converted by force or anything. They are the only natives of the land. And I am very clear in my book, and I was being very widely read also. And I have told this to most Americans also, where I told them openly that the America belongs to Native Americans because it's their land. They did not convert. So the same logic applies to India. Like
Yes.
see the you have to understand, the conquerors make very clever ideas. It is up to the natives to understand them and fight with the same ideas. Like the when I was reading the history of Bengal in my first book, Sattology Debunking Mythology, I was shocked to see that how from Sylhet, which was ruled by Krishna Dev Rai, and the movement started down, and it was a major mistake to allow a mosque to be opened. Till date, Japan doesn't allow it, China doesn't allow it. China has banned Quran and Bible both, and Angola has banned it, and many other countries have banned it. But anyway, we'll get started with this Mahishasur because
Mahishasur Mardini, Durga.
we need to take a lot of
Uh,
lessons from her.
yeah, actually, what I want to say in the beginning of the my presentation, that Mahishasur Mardini Durga is not only belong from Bengal. That's the main thing what I saw when I went to the National Museum Bangkok, and I that was the moment I was surprised to see
Yeah, it is not
that.
from Bengal. It is, see, the story of Durga is predates most of the history, including Ramayana.
Yes,
And
predators.
because she's
That's
the wife of Parvati, she's the wife of Shiva, and
yes.
she's the youngest
So
Gopendra
then
Sanjay.
she already knows in a different name of Uma, Parvati, Ombika,
Umesh
Katyayani.
Akambari Shwete Krishna
Shakambari, and,
Kyatavasini.
and Shakambari is very important. So
Very
I will
important.
discuss on it.
Yes.
So I will discuss when I will show the presentation, because we should know that Mahishasur Mardini, especially the terms, that Mahishasur Mardini is especially used in the part of Eastern India,
That's right.
because other part of India it is either Sheravali Durga
Yeah.
or the Mother Uma or Mother Parvati. But I was surprised to see one 9th century small Durga, 9th century small Durga in the Bangkok National Museum. And it's a very primitive. And you
See,
can see
once
that
there is one point. Right.
it
Sorry,
was
I'm
from
interrupting.
Java.
Please.
Yeah, it was from Java, Indonesia. And you can see in my presentation also a small Durga, a beautiful 800 Ashtabhuja. Ashtabhuja Durga is there, and that what the actually meaning of the Mahishashur. Mahish is the buffalo, and the one buffalo demon, and he killed by a beautiful lady with Ashtabhuja or Dashabhuja, 10 hands or 8 hands. That's not a big matter, but he killed by her. So this story, how spread all over the part of the world, from our Bengal to up to Tajikistan.
Not just Kazakhstan, there is a Sarai Kali in South France. In my latest book,
Yeah.
so Durga was worshipped there by original Europeans, native Europeans, and
Oh, I want to see that thing also,
Sarai Kali.
because
You
I
can check it out. It's exactly 8 forms, exactly same. I put in
oh
my book, and also
okay.
it's called Durge Kantara Vasini. She always stays in difficult places. So you'll find Durga in South America, everywhere mother worshipped in South America, in Europe, in Germanic tribes worshipped her, and there is a called Inanna, which is the European goddess. You'll be shocked to see she looks just like the Indian images of Durga, exactly the same, Inanna. And they call it Ishtar also sometimes, and they celebrate Esther, Easter, or whatever they celebrate over there. So it's called Jambini, which is the mother of all. So it's a big movement all over the world where Durga is worshipped in all parts of the world. So I'll leave to you to get started. If you can share your presentation, we can get started.
Yeah. I think it will be more interesting to see and listen.
That's
That's
right.
yeah. So I try my best to share few things with all of you.
Please.
Yeah. So
Can you
namaskar
share? Can you
again.
share your presentation? You're not shared it yet.
Oh, I think I share. It is not showing.
Share, please share.
Okay. Wait. I think there is some problem of internet. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, I thought I shared already. Okay. Just a minute. Because it's a big presentation, so there are lots of slides, very interesting slides also. And I hope people will enjoy to see all those evidence. Actually, it's all those are not only the story, but it's the evidence.
Now, while you're sharing, I'll add something that mother is always respected in all traditions and across the world. It's not just Bharat; it's everywhere. Everyone respects a mother, and the Abrahamic faiths removed the concept of mother because they thought it makes people weak.
Yeah.
They wanted to
Can you see my
remove.
presentation now?
Yeah, we can see now. You can go ahead and start presenting.
Yeah. Yes. Now. Okay. So yes, it's very true that our civilization was matri-tantric, or you can say this is a motherland, because always we Indians say the motherland, but the thing is changed, and now it is there is a different concept of the fatherland. But the whole world, once upon a time, they worshipped a mother goddess, and it will be really interesting to sharing with all of you. I will give it to the video mode, so I think you can see the full screen. Is it okay?
Yes, go ahead now, please.
Okay. So this is the Mahishashur Mardini Durga. I think Mahishashur Mardini, Oigiri Nandini, Nandito Medini. You know, all of you know the stotra, or the few stanza also, that Oigiri Nandini, Nandito Medini, Vishwa Vinodini Nandanute. Giribara Bindhu Shirovi Nimashini, Vishnu Vilashini, Jishnunute. भगवती हे शितिकंठ कुटुंबिनी भूरि कुटुंबिनी भूरि कृते जय जय हे महिषासुर मर्दिनी रम्मक पर्दिनी शैलसुते. So it is my salutation to Mother Durga, and I want to start today that Mahishashur Mardini, very interesting character, you can say, that Mahishashur Mardini Durga is not only a Devi or a deity, but she was the cultural symbol of the power, knowledge, divinity from Bengal to the Central Asia to the Southeast Asia, and as Adityaji told, that it's until the Europe and America, everywhere. And that she worshipped in a different names, different identities of the divine power, from Veda to Purana, Sanskrit to the other language, the ancient scripture, art, rituals, which is related with the Mahishashur Mardini Durga. And in this way, she spread all over the world. One warrior goddess. There are so many ancient civilizations. You can get a warrior goddess. You can listen a story, a woman with a lion, a buffalo demon killer, or a woman with seated on the lion. So one lion, one buffalo, and one beautiful woman is related to many folk stories, many ancient stories of all over the world. And this warrior goddess, which we know as the Mahishashur Mardini Durga, and the Rig Veda she was also mentioned and moved forward in a different nation, different form with the change of ages. Her spread everywhere as the mother, as the maiden. The name is changed. Sometime it is Uma, Parvati, Shivani, Adda Shakti, Mahamaya, Oshurdalani. And these superpowers have emerged not only in the um, uh, ancient time, but at the sadhana of the present day also. So this is the one kind of Shakti Puja, the cult of Shakti, and we are worshipping that power. And this Mahishashur Mardini Durga, we can find in different type of stone image. There are so many deities in wooden culture, sculpture, in the painting, and those things. And Goddess Durga is still a marvelous superpower today, that from the Arya or Anarya, Dravidian, or that's not a matter. But one mother goddess were worshipped in a different part of the world. And you can see that Indian influence, that time it was not known as the India, definitely, that was known as the Bharat or the Jambudipa. Actually, there are different type of deities from different civilization, who is also very important to connecting the main stream of Durga. If you understand that thing, you have to understand to Anahita or Ananna, the Mediterranean countries that we find the worship of Sri Durga in a different form. There was a temple of Anahita in Armenia. The name of the month also mentioned as the Navasrad. So that Navasrad is the Navaratri, or this Mahishashur Mardini Durga in Bengal is known as the Sharadiya. Sharadiya, and the word is this Navasrad is something that phonetically also similarity. And from Nana to Ishana or Swain, all these Sumerian or Akkadian goddesses are often identified as the lioness are dragging their chariots to lions. And this Mahishashur Mardini in many countries along like the Mediterranean coast, the mother goddess are worshipped in a different form. Spiritual goddess of the Greece, Cybele of Asia Minor, Ismar, Ishana, and Swami Vivekananda also mentioned the lion as the mountaineer and another goddess of the great island in the Mediterranean. So it is not only in the Mediterranean or not only in the Europe or America, but there are numerous statues of the such Mahishashur Mardini Durga still exist and worshipped in a different form in the Uma Parvati in the Southeast Asia. The goddess is worshipped in the land of ancient Sham, Cambodia. Sham is the Thailand, and the Cambodia is the Cambodia. Champa is the Vietnam. Srashtapura is the Laos. And worship of Uma Devi is still practiced in very much in practice in Thailand. In the Palace of Himai, in the Museum of there are so many different museums, and you can see that how this beautiful mother goddess was spread all over the world. And here it's very interesting. I find this bowl. It's a silver vessel, and this is a four-hand one goddess who have four hand, and she is sitting on it's not a lion, but there is a buffalo also there. So that, and then behind that silver bowl, there is a Pallava script was used by the time passed into the user, and that is written in that how it is looks like it's like a deities, and which is worshipping in that time in the second centuries. Is belong from the second centuries. And then the goddess Nana. This Nana is also known as the Nava, Navara. And here you can see the beautiful stone image. One picture is from the stone image of Nana from 5th to 6th centuries, at present in the Metropolitan Museum. And this goddess Nana is compared to the Anahita also, the goddess Nana, four-armed goddess. And you can see the Kushana mudra, or and you can see that the coin And in that coin, you can see a Devi or one deity who is seated over the lion. And she is known as the Nana also, with a 4-hand statue of the goddess. And that goddess is, sometimes it is known as the Istara also. Istara is standing on a land and has 4 arms. And here I found this beautiful and very interesting image from a Mahishashur Mardini Durga written by the Swami Pragyanandaji. And Ardhanarishwar, the concept of the Ardhanarishwar is very prominent in this coin. And that's why that the Nana, the appearance of the famous ancient Babylonian Sumerian goddess Nana, is maybe we can say that that is far from India, but it was worshipped that time, that places. And this Nana is also in the painting, in the Bunjikat wall painting near Kazakhstan. And it's maybe 8th century to 9th century. This is a beautiful Nana with seated with the lion and killing a buffalo. And so the Istar, the woman with the lion, is a very ancient tradition who are dominating that time. It is the really the woman power, and that is dominating also. So this Nana, Istara, Anahita, Sibili, they all are the part of Durga. If we go to the different Durga Statra, you can see that there are so many similarities with that. And I think we should remember the Naina Devi temple in our Nainital. So that Almora and Nainital, that is the temple is still belong and the people are worshipping. That the Nana, maybe that is the change is a Naini. So there is a deep link with all those deities and the ancient worshipping and the tradition. And this Anahita, that Anahita is the mentioned as the holy month of the Avan according to the, there are so many different, Avan is a divinity or energy of the Ahura Mazda. She was the goddess of the water. The name of Avan is derived from the word Apa. Apa is known as in Sanskrit, it is the water. And she also believed that she is the goddess of the river. She is the goddess of the fertility. You can see that in 2 lions, just like it's like a game for her. So she is so powerful. So this Nana, this Anahita, they are mixed of Mahalakshmi and Saraswati and Mahakali also. Because Anahita, in a future time, she is mentioned as the Saraswati or Suraswati. She is the goddess of water, and beautiful Anahita is a lady of the prosperous. And we must remember that in our Chandi, we remember when we do the Chandi part or the chanting, the Chandi is actually the 3 different worshipping of the 3 goddesses who were Mahasaraswati, Mahalakshmi, and Mahakali. So in that way also, Anahita is related with Mahasaraswati. I got these 3 beautiful deities, the goddess from the Europe, part of the Europe. This is known as the Athena and Aphrodite and Hera in the 2nd century mosaic art. But if you see the picture, you can see that the draping of the clothes, the seated, and this is like a Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Ma Durga, and that is also they have some weapon also. So this is also very interesting. It is 2nd century mosaic art from Europe. And another mosaic art I find, I got some interest that she is known as the Europa. So the Europe name, the goddess of the Europe. But if you look the mosaic art, you can see there is a buffalo, and it looks like some type of. It's not look like it's so peaceful. It's look like some type of word or some fighting sense. But there is there is one lady with buffalo, and I got something from also the Japan and the Mexico also, because Arita ji already told that there are so many mother goddess in that part of the America also. So Juntei Kannon was a Hindu deity once upon a time from the Japan civilization, and the people, especially the women, worshipping her for the kids, for the children. It's I think in our Bengali customs, and another form of Mother Durga, it's known as the Shashti, Mother Shashti, who is actually care for the children. So people are offering worship her and offering pujas and giving the fruits and pray to her for behalf of their children and take care about the children. So this Juntai Kanan is also a Ashtabhuja, and she is known a different type of Mother Durga or Mother Shashti in Japan. And another one is here. It's from the Mexico. And see the posture, see the killing of the buffalo demon. It's very interesting. And I think this picture is very famous in all over the social media. This is beautiful Mother Goddess, and it sent me from one of my archaeology friend from the Baluchistan Gandhar Archaeology Department, and this is the another, that the demolished face of the Mother Durga. Once upon a time, it was all over there, and this small Durga, it's not belong from other part of the world, but this is belong from our Kashmir, and it is just found out. It is the date is very is found in the 1st September of 2021 from the Badgaon district. But see the face, see the posture, and see the drapery, and see. You remember the picture of the Nana? It's very similar. That's why I put this picture in my presentation. So today's main focus, because see, there are so many Durga worshipping and maybe the Mother Goddess in different part of the world, but till date, it was really good form in preserve in the Southeast Asia. So I want to show something which is very much interesting from the Southeast Asia, and you all know the relation with Southeast Asia and India and how it is going on, and once upon a time how it was. So there are so many different part of the India from where the people, the traders, the kings, the merchants, also they visit all over the Southeast Asia up to China. And in this way, and also the Indonesia, the Bali, the Sumatra, the Philippines, and he was 100% right that time, because we found some of the archaeological department there. They found something from the part of the one part of the river, and there is a golden Tara image and beautiful, and there are so many Sanskrit language which is mixed with the Tagalog language. So this is when I was in Indonesia in 2019. I saw this beautiful map in the Jakarta National Museum, and how the Indianization had done that time. So, and this is an inscription. This inscription is not mentioned about definitely about the Mother Durga, but the inscription, there are so many inscriptions full with the Indonesia, because it's my personal feelings that if you want to understand our culture, our heritage, so that was a Jambu Deepa, and it was true that it is not only inside the India, it was spread all over the Southeast Asia, and they few inscription are very important to understanding our history. And according to this seven Kuta inscription of Mula Varmana, and he wrote that he performed a yajna called gold Suvarnaka. He spread so many gold donate to the people, and he gave the gold and with the cows, because the Southeast Asia is mainly agriculture based. So that cow is very important for the fertilizing the field. So this happened in the sacred ground of the Vaparakshva. The Brahmins who participated in the fire sacrifice and the yajna, and they got those things. And when you see, there are so many temples and so many Indian deities till date. This picture is from 2019 from the Majapahit, and I went there and I was amazed to see that it is not the part of the Bali, but this is the part of different part of the Surabaya, and this big Ganesha and Shiva they are making till date, and they are really proud for that. And this is the Mahishashur-mardini. So many Mahishashur-mardini Durga in the Java, Bali, Yogyakarta, Surabaya, Majapahit from 7th centuries to 15th centuries. See, most of them are iconographically Ashtabhuja, most of them, and they had one buffalo is killing that Mahishashur. This is maybe the lion is not present here, but see the buffalo is everywhere in the every with the every idol, and she is killing that buffalo. And the Oshura, the demon, also that either she hold the hair of that Oshura, or either she killed that Oshura. So this is a beautiful image of the different museum and different temples. They preserve it mostly in the museum side, and this is a divine empowerment when stone come live. And I love this Durga. I love this beautiful Durga. I love this posture. This Durga is belong from the Chandi Javai and from the East Java, 13th century, and it is made by the volcanic stone. And when it is the Durga, definitely there will be Lakshmi. There will be Saraswati also. And here you can see the beautiful Lakshmi idol, and it is the Gaja Lakshmi from the 9th century of the Java. And here is a beautiful story of the Roro Jongran. I think many of you know this beautiful temple complex, which is known as the Prambanan Temple Complex. And inside that Prambanan complex, there is Shiva, Durga, and the Vishnu is and the and there is a 5 main temple tower, and every deity is at the Hindu deities. But the thing is, there is a very interesting story about this Mahishashur Mardini Durga, because for me it's Durga, and it's clear for many of you that this is a Ashtabhuja Durga. But the story they said that it is the Roro Jongran. So who was that Roro Jongran? The story of Roro Jongran, it's very much phonetically, it's similarity with the Rono Chundi, because it's very famous in Bengal, that is called Rono Chundi. Rono means who is who is fighting, and Chundi is another name of the Durga. And here in Indonesia, it's known as the Roro Jongran. So who is that Roro Jongran? The story is like Roro Jongran was a beautiful princess of a great king, and one demon wanted to marry her, but she was not agreed to marry her. And then one day that her father also passed away, and that day demon was very happy that no one is protecting now that beautiful lady. So I go and I marry to her. But she was a very in a fighter mood, and she was a very brave lady. So she said, okay, if you want to marry me, just make the 1,000 statues in one night. I think many of you remember about the Unokoti of Tripura, the 1,000 statue made in a one night. And that demon king was very, because that for him, that was like a magic. But Roro Jongran, or that beautiful lady, knows that if he can make all those 1,000 statues, he want to marry me, but I cannot do that thing. So she do some magic or some power of the, I think, power of tapo or whatever it is. She changed the night in a day, and the daylight came out, and she said that stop the making those statues because you are failed, because it's already the night is over. And the demon was surprised, and demon accept the defeating. But after that, when he realized that it was a one kind of magic power, or it was a one kind of another camouflage from from that beautiful lady, he was very angry, and he made him as a statue. It's a one story. And another story said that that time they were fighting, and then this lady was and then she worshipped as a Roro Chandi or a Roro Jongran. So this is but finally I came out that this is a Mahishashur Mardini Durga with the Ashtabhuja Durga, and beautiful. If you go through the iconography, that is also marvelous. If you just go as a devotee, that is also marvelous. And it's till date, it is inside the Brahmanan temple. And the Jogjakarta is for the natural disaster and other reason temples were damaged, the idol also damaged, but they are trying to put it, they are trying to preserve it. And wherever Mother Parvati or Mother Durga, there is Shiva. The Shiva is all over the Southeast Asia. You all can see the so many different type of Shiva linga and the bull and the Shiva image from the Jakarta National Museum in the Cambodia, in Bangkok National Museum, and there are so many places. Swami Vivekananda once told a very important thing that the miracle of the language, how this was born, all those Jambudipa was born by. One is if one is point is the trading, then another point is the language, and that is the Sanskrit. So that Swami Vivekananda said the miracle of the language, which was called Sanskrit, or perfected. Sanskrit means which is doing shangaskar. So that shangaskar means perfect, who is doing you do help to do the perfection. So that Sanskrit lending itself to expressing and manipulating them better than any other. That Sanskrit was one of the main bonding to hold things. And the Shiva presence in everywhere. This Shiva Linga is came out from one university's ground. So she kept as they were in that part of the university. And the second picture is showing the Majapahit dynasty, one of the greatest dynasty of the Indonesia. And they are also preserve all those things. And so I can say that from 6th century, from Uttar Pradesh to Jakarta, from Kazakhstan to Prambanan, a bull, a lion, a buffalo move on. And I am very much amazed to see that Dr. Dawi Dawan, one of the great scholar from Thailand, and he wrote in his Brahmanism in Southeast Asia book that India gave the whole Southeast Asia its own culture. Cambodia, Champa, Thailand, Burma, Laos, Malaysia, Indonesia. All those were the glorious collaterals of the Brahmanic cultural polyphony, and the sage of the each of which shows the undercurrents of a tradition of homogeneity. So this is very true. This is very true for all over the Southeast Asia. You can feel that thing. This is a very interesting Durga temple from Bali, Indonesia. This is known as the Purakutir Durga. It's a here you can see the Dashabhuja Durga, and it's a broken form. But the people are. It is so auspicious for the Bali people. They are worshipping regularly this Durga, and this picture it is not the related with the Mother Durga. But why I give it to here? Because few rituals, it's the when you are worshipping deities, there are so many rituals, there are so many customs, and that rituals also reflected in our daily life, because the Hindu dharma or Hindu way of life, the Hindu dharma is actually the way of life, and in that way of life we also followed those things for our daily life, for our rituals, for our ceremonies. And in our ceremonies we also give a auspicious bath in any before any special occasion, before any special ceremonies. And the same thing happened to the palace of the Kraton. It is known as the Kraton of the Jogjakarta. And I was amazed to see that there is a Sultan Palace, and the Kraton is known as the Sultan Palace. And they put few pictures, old pictures, how the daughters are married, got married, and before the marriage, how they take the auspicious bath, how they put the Gatra Haridra, the Haldi Chandan, and put on the skin. And it's also the Durga Puja also, because we are worshipping the Navapatrika, we are worshipping the Shis, all with the fertile land, also related with our food, with also related with our various different type of our agriculture fertility. And this Mahishasur Mardini is belong from that is the turning point of my life. This beautiful, I think it's a 1 feet small primitive Mahishashurmurdini from Bangkok National Museum, and another is a beautiful Durga idol, the Durga Parivar. You can say that the whole Durga family is the modern day, the white one. It's made by the few years ago. So the continuation is going on, and very interestingly, I was amazed to see that how Thai people are worshipping Navaratri at Bangkok. It's not by the Indian people, but the Thai people. They all have their own deities at home for the Navaratri and make beautiful pandal just like India. And they put all those deities, and they also decorate
Because of
their.
the time
Yeah,
now,
yeah, 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 yeah. So
we
this
should
is
wrap it
this
up in
all are
five
the.
ten minutes. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So this is the beautiful Uma in the National Museum, Bangkok, and you all know there are so many temples in Thailand and all over the Southeast Asia. But what exactly I want to share that here is the modern Durga Puja also happen. It's not only the in the museum, but it is the till date and the present day. The museum, the different organization are happening the puja, and this is also the 9 days vegetarian festival of the Chinese Thai, and that is also related to the Navadurga, and they are taking the vegetable food on those 9 days. And here another statue of the goddess Durga of the 10,000 Durga Buddha's temple from the Hong Kong. So, and that's Aditya ji told about the Filipino Hindu culture. This is the Agu Santara and the copper plate, where you can see that Hindu culture of the Philippines and how they are worshipping the Hindu deities. And this is the Mount Popa and the Nath temple of Burma. In Burma, there are a lot of Devi Durga and the Lakshmi and the Saraswati. They also find out this thing. And this is the Suraswati of Burma, the Mahasaraswati of Burma. They are worshipping till that also. And this Shiva and Uma from 9th to 11th century from the Phnom Penh and from the Sahasra Shiva Linga from Cambodia. So the all over the Southeast Asia, you can see this is the Mount Pulan and beautiful Shiva idol. And then it is the ancient Champa, and Champa also do the same thing. And here the beautiful Durga from the Mahishashurmurdini Durga from the Vietnam. And in my left hand side is a very primitive Durga, and then it is a beautiful in my right hand side is a Saraswati with birds, and this is the Shiva Nataraja from Mason Temple Complex. It's a beautiful Shiva Kama Nataraja, and this is a wonderful Durga idol again from the Vietnam Chandan Temple, and the huge Shiva Linga. And the Cham people of the Vietnam, they are till date they're trying to continue those tradition. They're trying to continue those customs is going on. So thank you very much for maybe people are get some more knowledge about those things again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for showing this. And I would love to get this presentation from you. Some of the images are very striking. And the Ishtar, which you mentioned, like I said, Ishtar is Inanna, Ishtar. They're all forms
And
of
Anahita.
Anahita. And these were worshipped in Europe, and they worshipped by Greeks also. So they
Yes.
were very commonly worshipped over there. So like in my last book, I did quote that in Gold, Glory and God, that these are the prevalence of Durga in every part of the world, every part. Like Durga is also known Durga Kantara Vasini. She stays in very difficult places, Durgam, very difficult to go. And it's a colonial conspiracy that and it's very astounding also that the people who worship Durga do not know how to protect themselves. It's so ironical. Jai Bhavani was the slogan of Shivaji Maharaj. He conquered the whole world for it. Atak to Katak, and that was Jai Bhavani. And we have Durga worshipped before Mahabharat war by Arjun. And the shloka which I say are Arjun's prayers.
Yes.
Arjun's
and in Bengal also the Kritivashi Ramayana.
Yeah.
If you see the Bengali Durga Puja is a main source of the starting is the Kritivashi Ramayana. Because in Valmiki Ramayana, Rama's worshipping the Aditya Hridaya Statram for
Yeah.
killing the sun god. But in Kritivashi Ramayana, Rama worshipping Mother Durga.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the irony is that we say all these beautiful prayers, we have made Durga just as an art and emotions. We do not learn anything from her.
Yeah.
And, the example is Sita Maya carried a weapon all the time. She had in her sari, she carried a khanjar. And Draupadi carried a weapon.
Yeah.
Rani was able to protect herself. All our Rajput princes were able to protect herself themselves. And Rani Lakshmi Bai is a great example of being a warrior, which surprised even British.
Yeah. And there are so many Bengali freedom fighter also ladies. The
Yeah.
Matangini Hajra, who got the first bullet from the British. And there are actually they have, but maybe the percentage is different now.
Yeah. And also, if you look at Yazidi women also worship Durga in Iraq. And
Yeah, yeah.
they gave a tough fight to ISIS. Even today, they carry AK-47s and they protect themselves. Only in our culture, we are seeing that emotions, art, we have converted Durga to an art form, which is very ironical. And I think with this presentation, I would like to make an appeal. When you say the prayers to Durga, actually meditate on what you're praying. Like if you're worshipping Kali, then you need to meditate on what she stands for and who she represents. Then only you can build a strength. Otherwise, what British have done, what everybody else is saying, the colonial propaganda, the communist propaganda, is that only Hindus need to be very quiet and peaceful. Rest everybody can be very violent, which is very reverse of what we pray also. Isn't it true?
Very true, very true.
So thank you
Thank
all
you
very
so
much for
okay.
joining, and all the people do comment on YouTube and let us know your feedback. Thank you. Namaste.
Okay. Thank you so much.